society. It's not a private business. It reports to its constituents. If the decisions are not recorded in the minutes, where are they recorded? If the minutes, the official record of council meetings, are not kept accurately, what evidence does council have or the community have when challenging the actions of a past or current employee? Litigation is something that councillors have been discussing and allocating Shire money towards. Accurate minutes of council decisions is their first line of defence. So my second question is whether councillors will agree with me that they should not accept the unconfirmed minutes of the meeting on July 11th until the 3 documents I tabled are appended and my comments about the ease with which lack of due process can lead to corruption in local government are included, and that the council decisions made for items 14.1.1 and 14.1.2 are included in the minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, Ms Nixon, for the questions. There is a variety of ground that you've covered there in those questions, and I'll provide a response to those as best I can. If I've missed any of the questions, please.
Sorry?
If I have missed any of your questions, then please would you mind just picking me up on that. I'm not sure if there's a question or a comment to begin with about naming members of people on the minutes in terms of those in the gallery. My preference in terms of the minutes is not to identify individuals in the gallery, and that's probably more of a privacy obligation, I think, that the Shire has. Yes, there is a register that's recorded, and that's probably more for an OC health and safety measure than anything else. So my preference in the minutes would be not to identify individuals. I understand and accept there might be different opinions about that. That's my opinion. Second question your first formal question was around, is there a process where for disclosure or for complaints to be made where due process is not followed by an employed or an elected member of the organisation? Yes, there is. There are multiple processes. There are complaints that can be registered with the CCC. There are complaints that can be registered with the Department of Local Government at either a minor or a major level. And then there are also public interest disclosure provisions as well. So there are a variety of measures which are dealt with by external agencies. There are also measures that are covered by the Public Sector Commission for Employed Staff. And then we have behavioural issues rather than process issues, which are dealt with by the organisation itself as required by the Code of Conduct, the Standard Code of Conduct regulations under the Local Government Act. In relation to tabling of documents, there is no ability for a member of the public to table documents at a council meeting. The meeting is of the council, and whilst we recognise that those documents are provided and quite happy to receive them and for them to be circulated, they don't form an attachment to the minutes. They cannot. I understand in the past there may have been a practice that was done on occasion here. In my view, that's an incorrect practice. In relation to the minutes and resolutions from confidential matters, there are some matters which are required to retain their confidentiality because they're still ongoing. And at the point that they can be released, which may be weeks, months or years in the future, at that stage they can be released. Where they can be released on the night because there's no legal implication, then we will do so.
Just to clarify that, please.
Yeah.
So no decision was, they were discussions, and you know there was no decision made to carry it over till the next meeting or till the next month or whatever.
Thank you for the requesting the clarification. Yes, there are decisions that are made, and on those two items that you referenced, I think one was read aloud and was formed in the minutes, and one was not, or two were not. Two were not. Okay. They will stay confidential. There are resolutions of the council on those matters, so there are confidential minutes as well as the public minutes, and the confidential minutes are kept confidential until such time as it's no longer required for them to be confidential.
May I suggest that for the clarity, for someone like myself reading the minutes, that it actually be that the council discussed and decided that these need to remain confidential. As it stands, it looks like it was just almost forgotten.
Okay. Yep, I take your point. Right. Thank you.
Good. Thank you.
Presentation 6.1 petitions. There are nil. 6.2 presentations. After another very successful Manjimup 15,000, the organisers of the 15,000 have wanted to acknowledge the success of the event and the contribution that the Manjimup Shire made to the event. Now, I don't want you all to get excited to work out whose office this is going to go into, but this was gifted to us from the organisers of the 15,000 in honour of the 2024 event. Wouldn't it? It's heavy. Yeah. Do you want it? You can go in your office. It's attractive. (6.3) Deputations. There are nil. 6.4 delegate reports. We have nil. 6.5 conference reports. We have nil. Confirmation of the previous minutes. Councillor Ivey.
I move that the minutes of the ordinary meeting of the council held on the 11th of July 2024 be confirmed as a true and accurate record, and also note that on the minutes of the meeting from the 13th of June 2024, item 9.2.2, my name needs to be removed from the list of those who voted for the motion, as I had already left the room, which is also mentioned in that.
Thank you. Good. Thank you. Is there a seconder? Councillor De Campo. Shall we put it to the vote, please?
Would you like me to clarify that second part?
Yep, if you like. Yep.
Thank you, Madam President. Councillor Ventris, being exceptionally diligent, has picked up on the 13th of June minutes on the agenda item to do with the lease for the Warren Catchments Council. Councillor Ivey declared correctly her interest and left the room, but in the bottom where it's got who voted, it's my mistake, Councillor Ivey's name was left in there, but she couldn't have voted because she was in the room over there. So that's just a very minor correction.
Yep.
And thank you, Councillor Ventris, for your diligence in picking that up.
Thank you.
So I will make that, if this motion is passed, part of the motion is to go back and correct that.
Thank you. Can we vote on that motion then, please, councillors? All those in favour? Thank you. Carried 8-0. I've got to get the numbers right this week. Item 8, motions of which previous notice has been given. There are nil. Officers' reports. For the interest of the gallery, I'll explain how we are about to consider the agenda items for this meeting. All councillors have had the agenda for 1 week, giving us time to thoroughly review each item. This meeting is the only time that councillors are able to formally debate agenda items. Soon I will read out each item listed in the agenda, and any councillor will be able to identify an item they wish to debate. These items will be listed on the board behind me. All items not identified by councillors to be debated will be moved in accordance with the officer's recommendation in one motion and as listed in the agenda and moved en bloc for voting purposes. If your item is not listed on the board and is moved en bloc, it will be passed as per the officer's recommendation. Following this, council will consider the remaining items in agenda order. Office of the CEO. 9.1.1, proposed adoption of the 2024-2025 annual budget is absolute and taken out. 9.1.2, unconfirmed minutes of the Chief Executive Officer Review Advisory Committee meeting held on the 22nd of July 2024 is taken out. Finance and Administration, 9.3.1, Shire financial payments for June 2024 is taken out. Thank you. Statutory planning. 9.5.1, proposed holiday house at Lot 2 in brackets 43 Hind Road, Dean Mill. 9.5.2, proposed pylon sign at Lot 101 in brackets 28265 Southwestern Highway, Middlesex. Taken out. 9.5.3, consideration of submission related to industry, extractive approval of lots 2339, 2340 and 2684 Wim Landing Road, Wilgara. Councillor Mylan. 9.5.4, delegated planning decisions June 2024, taken out. Community and Recreation Services, 9.9.1, Shire of Manjimup Priority Projects, External Advocacy and Investment Attraction. 9.9.2, Quinnanup Community Association Out of Round Community Grant Request is absolute and taken out. Libraries and Cultural Services, 9.11.1, Transfer of Permanent Ownership of George Gardner Rock and Mineral Collection to the Northcliffe Pioneer Museum. Occasional and Management Committees, 9.15.1, unconfirmed minutes of the Airfield Management Committee held on the 12th of June 2024 is absolute and taken out. Advisory Committees, 9.16.1, unconfirmed informal notes of the Local Emergency Management Committee meeting held on the 17th of July 2024. Thank you. Would someone like to move that? Thank you. Councillor Ivey.
I move that council adopt the recommendations contained in the council officers and committee reports on pages 1 to 57 of the agenda, with the exception of those on the board.
Is there a seconder? Councillor Mylan. Can we put that to the vote, please, councillors? All those in favour? Carried 8-0. Okay, page 7. 9.1.1, proposed adoption of the 2024-2025 annual budget. Okay. Oh, Councillor De Campo.
Thank you, Madam President, and can I welcome anyone who's watching on live streaming tonight, although we did have a glitch earlier on. Sorry, this end, particularly Ellie and Max, my grandchildren. Madam President, could I move that we adopt the 2024-25 annual budget as tabled, as per the officer's recommendation, with the exception of the following items: 2024-25 Community Grants Program and 3164 Resheeting Smithbrook Road.
Councillor Darren. Thank you. Councillor De Campo.
Thank you, Madam President, and I would just like to congratulate Mr Lockwood and his team on their due diligence in presenting the budget once again to Council, and to leave you with a quote from Babe Ruth: "The way a team plays as a whole determines its success. You may have the greatest bunch of individual stars in the world, but if they don't play together, the club won't be worth a dime." And we are the club around this table, and I think we're playing very well together. So the forward budget we're approving tonight is one of of great magnitude, great projects held within it, community grants that are spread right across the community, and I think we all should be very, very happy with the way we've landed with a 3.9% rate increase, taking into account the economic circumstances of those within our Shire. So I urge you to support this motion. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Darren.
Yes, I'd like to support this motion. I think that we gave a pretty challenging scenario to the staff in that we didn't want rates to go up considerably. I know a lot of the local governments in the southwest are putting their rates up quite considerably for a range of different reasons, and the council here in the Shire of Manjimup made it quite clear to staff that that wasn't something that we were wanting to do unless there was a legitimate reason to do so, and the staff certainly took that on, and a 3.9% rate rise, which is below the Perth CPI year to date, which I believe is around the 4.8%, is quite an achievement, and it goes to show the commitment of this council and the staff to really take into account the cost of living crisis and the difficulties that a lot of businesses are facing. So hand in hand with that, Councillor Mylan and myself, when we were first elected to council, also presented a challenge of finding a way to make the paying of rates more accessible for people and having different options without having the cost imposition for doing that. And again, the staff took that direction, and this year we are introducing that when people pay by instalments, they will no longer be paying interest on those instalments, and we've also made changes to how interest is calculated on those that may be finding themselves in a financially difficult situation and are now able to enter into an agreement and face fewer costs than they have in previous years. So we do understand that there is a difficulty for all of our constituents in the current economic climate, and that we do want to do our part while still remaining financially viable and responsible in terms of our own services and that we put out into the community. So I think this is a real reflection of hard work and a commitment from all of council and all of staff, and I support this motion, and I hope that all of our councillors continue to support the ongoing work of our staff in getting this budget together.
Thank you, Councillor Darren. Is there anyone against the motion? Excellent. Shall we put it to the vote, councillors?
Are we voting on part A only, or I didn't quite follow the process?
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. So, Councillor Winfield, the council at the moment is voting on all of the items that don't have a financial interest for people. Yep.
Thank you. Should we put it to the vote, please, councillors? All those in favour? Carried 8-0.
Yeah, you are.
Yep. Thank you. Councillor De Campo.
Thank you, Madam President. Could I move that Council adopt, as part of the 2024-25 annual budget, 2024-25 Community Grants Program?
Councillor Mylan.
Second.
Thank you. Councillor De Campo.
Could I just say once again, reiterating the previous comments that have been made by Councillor Darren, and another quote from Harry Truman: "It is amazing what you can accomplish if you don't care who gets the credit." And I can tell you that we all sit around this room with that philosophy in mind, and we all have the best interests of our community at hand, and community grants, the community grants program that we hand out actually shows that. So I commend Councillor Ivey particularly for the work she does, and Councillor Darren as well in regard to that. So I commend the motion to you.
Thank you. Councillor Mylan, did you want to speak to the motion? Are there any speakers against the motion? Councillors, can we put that to the vote, please? All those in favour is 6-0. Thank you. All right, last one. Have Have you got another quote for us, Councillor De Campo?
No, I was going to bore you with another one, but I think 2-0's enough.
Councillor De Campo, section C.
Thank you, Madam President. Can I move that we adopt as part of the 2024-25 annual budget 3164 reshooting of Smithbrook Road?
Thank you. Is there a seconder? Councillor Ivey. Councillor De Campo.
Thank you. No further comments. I think that's been enough for the night. Though, can I retract my request to take out 954 delegated planning decisions, please?
954. Can we do that now that we've...
It's up to the rule of the meeting. If there's a general mood to it, then yes, you can.
Okay.
Ask if anyone has any.
Does anyone have any objections to that? No, that's what I mean. So does anyone have any objections to that? Because it's been moved on block. Yeah. Yeah, we'll just keep going. It's just as easy. Councillor Ivey, did you want to speak to the motion? Thank you. Councillors, can we put that to the vote, please? All those in favour? Carried 7-0. And can we invite Councillor Winfield back into the room? Thank you. Okay, page 13, 9.1.2, unconfirmed minutes of the Chief Executive Officer Review Advisory Committee held on the 22nd of July 2024. Councillor Mylan.
Thanks, Madam President. I'd like to move, as per the officer's recommendation, that we receive the unconfirmed minutes of the Chief Executive Officer Review Advisory Committee as per the attachment, adopt council policy, Chief Executive Officer Performance Review as attached, appoint Price Consulting as independent facilitator to assist with the Chief Executive Officer Performance Review for the annual reviews in 2024, 25 and 26, and acknowledge the CEO's agreement to the performance review process outlined in the policy.
Is there a seconder? Thank you, Councillor De Campo. Councillor Mylan, did you want to speak to?
Yeah, I would like to speak to this proposal, to this motion, because I think the establishment of the performance review for our CEO is a critically important part of our work here. In that process, we will be sending the key performance indicators for our CEO, and those key performance indicators will have a big impact on driving our Shire, its work, its direction, its focus, and attention to ensuring that the CEO, it gives him some clarity about where he needs to direct his efforts, and it also gives clarity to the other workers in the Shire, because these become public KPIs, and they can have, it'll assist the CEO to focus the direction of the other employees in terms of, say, financial, service deliveries, value for money. And if we look at the actual policy, it does refer to the importance, the rationale for these policies is about creating an efficient and effective Shire. And efficiency is really a critical thing for us to be thinking about now when we are trying to get the best value for money that we can. And I commend the motion to you all, and I'm really looking forward to the establishment of the performance indicators, which will have measurables and deliverables in there, so that it'll assist our new CEO to continue to do his job really well, which he's done so far. Thanks.
Thank you. Councillor De Campo. All good. Are there any speakers against the motion? Okay, can we put the motion to vote, please? Councillors, all those in favour? Carried 8-0. Thank you. Okay, page 16, 9.3.1, Shire financial payments for June 2024. Councillor Ventris has a financial interest. Someone like to move that motion, please? Somebody? Anybody?
As per
Councillor De
officer's
Campo.
recommendation, Madam President.
Is there a seconder? Councillor Ivey. Councillor De Campo, would you like to speak to the motion? Because we have a financial. No? Councillor Ivey? Okay, all those in favour? Thank you. Carried 7-0. Page 27. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Lockwood. It isn't it? No, 9.5.2, proposed pylon sign at lot 101 in brackets 28265 Southwestern Highway, Middlesex. Thank you,
As per
Councillor
officer's
De Campo.
recommendation, Madam President.
Is there a seconder? Councillor Winfield. Councillor De Campo, did you want to speak to the motion?
No, thank you.
Councillor Winfield? Okay, let's put it to the vote, councillors. All those in favour? Thank you. Carried 7-0. Okay. 32. Oh, welcome back.
Oh, sorry.
9.5.3, consideration of submission related to industry extractive approval at lots 2339, 2340 and 2684 Wim Landing Road, Wilgarup. Councillor Mylan.
Received the submission provided by Mary Nixon and Alan Lloyd, dated on the 5th of June 2024, regarding the industry extractive at lots 2339, 2340 and 2684 Wim Landing Road, Wilgarup. Number 2, offer sincere apologies to Mary Nixon and Alan Lloyd for the Shire's administrative oversight in this matter. And number 3, note that the Council is unable to revoke the conditions of approval and advice notes as determined by the Council for DA 24/32 at its ordinary meeting held on the 13th of June 2024.
Thank you, Councillor Mylan. Is there a seconder? Councillor Ivey. Councillor Mylan, would you like to speak to the motion?
Yep, thank you. Firstly, I would really like to acknowledge the Shire officer's apology in this situation. We all discussed this and also offer to Ms Nixon and Mr Lloyd our apologies on behalf of the whole council in the way that this eventuated. We've talked about it as a council, and I'm sure that there's some steps in place to ensure that we don't have these sort of oversights in the future. This has been a learning curve for me because I was not aware that once we made a decision like this, a planning decision, we were unable to revoke it. So from my own point of view, it made me realise how much attention we really need to pay to the intricacies of these things. In particular, there was even the reference to the times that the extraction industry was able to operate, which ended up differing from the times that were advertised and responded to and agreed to by Mrs Nixon and Mr Lloyd. And thankfully, as a result of the way that the approval was granted, those conditions can still be enforced. The issues to do with the road being not on our shire is tricky for us and tricky for Mrs Nixon and Mr Lloyd as well. But what I would hope is that in their negotiations with Bridgetown Shire, that we as a shire would support them and assist them in any way that we can to ensure that the roadworks, that the roads that are on the Bridgetown Shire maintain and also keep some kind of eye on it ourselves, as the original proponents have agreed that they wanted to do. So once again, unfortunate situation, and accept our apologies, I hope, and we've all learned something from it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Mylan. Councillor Ivey. Are there any speakers against the motion, councillors? Yes, thank you, Councillor Darren.
I think it's really important that we acknowledge when we make mistakes. Taking a leaf out of Councillor De Campo's book, Bruce Lee said, mistakes are forgivable as long as one admits to them. And I think in this instance, maybe we haven't always had that culture, but I certainly think that it's a culture that we have going forward. And I think that's a really positive and transparent step for all local governments and for all governments. So I think it's a very positive thing for us to do. But I would also like to acknowledge that Mrs Nixon and Mr Lloyd brought it to our attention. So often people think that these things are something that has simply been done and a decision has been made and you have to move on. And this is a good example of how important it is for our community to come to us when we have made a mistake and give us an opportunity to own that and to rectify it where we possibly can. So I would encourage people to certainly do that and ensure that us as councillors remain accountable for our actions and our decisions and the things that we do going forward, so that we are better as we move into the future. So I do support the motion. I hope everybody else does too, and I would just like to acknowledge the effort that's gone into taking this decision where it is today.
Thank you. Are there any other speakers? All good. Can we put that to the vote, please, councillors? All those in favour? Thank you. Carried 8-0. Uh, 954, delegated planning decisions, June 2024. Councillor De Campo.
As per officer's recommendation.
Is there a
Madam President.
seconder? Councillor Ivey. Councillor De Campo.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to take this opportunity, Madam President. This was my fallback motion in case I didn't get to move the budget. But can I say in relation to planning and how we interact with it, I can't do the things that they do and they can't do the things that I do. However, together we make a great team. Mother Teresa said that actually. I commend the motion to you. 3-1, mate. Out of the park.
Councillor Ivey, did you have a quote or did you have anything that you wanted to share with us? Okay, fantastic. Are there any speakers against the motion? Thank you. Councillors, can we put that to the vote, please? All those in favour? Thank you very much. Carried 8-0. 45. Okay, 9.9.2, Quinninup Community Association out-of-round community grant request.
As per the officer's
Thank you,
recommendation.
Councillor Winfield. Is there a seconder? Councillor Mylan. Councillor Winfield, would you like to speak to the motion?
Very briefly, I just want to reinforce the officer's comments about the initiative taken by Quinninup community. They are a motivated group, and I think it's pretty unfortunate that their fundraising could be stalled by a technological incident, so I support them.
Thank you. Councillor Mylan? Are there any other speakers? Any speakers against? Okay, can we put it to the vote, please, councillors? All those in favour? Is carried 8-0. Thank you. 52. 9.15.1, unconfirmed minutes of the Airfield Management Committee held on the 12th of June 2024. Councillor Winfield.
As per the officer's recommendation.
Is there a seconder? Councillor Ivey. Councillor Winfield, would you like to speak to the motion? Councillor Ivey, any speakers against? Can we put it to the vote, please, councillors? All those in favour? Carried 8-0. Thank you. Alrighty. Late reports, we have none. Item 11, questions from members. Response to questions from members taken on notice, there are nil. 11.2, questions from members. Item 12, motions for consideration at the following meeting. 13, new business of an urgent nature introduced by decisions of the meeting. Nil. Okay. Item 14. The meeting closed to the public. So 14.1, matters for which the meeting may be closed. 14.1.1, proposed. Oh, yep. Proposed transfer of lease for Manjimup Heritage Park Cafe. Councillor De
Can I move that we go behind closed doors?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All those in favour? Carried 8-0. Thank you. Thank you, members of the gallery. Thank you. Please stay safe and dry and warm.
I don't know if anyone's waiting out there or not. I doubt it. But...
Do we come back? Filming? Yep. Okay, fabulous.
Are the hardware of these things recyclable? We all came back last year.
For reference. Fabulous. So, the recommendation that council authorise the chief executive officer to consent to assignment of the lease of the cafe in the Manjimup Heritage Park, subject to 1, a due diligence review as to the bona fides, credit history, bankruptcy check, etc., of the proposed assignee to the satisfaction of the chief executive officer. 2, satisfactory review the plant, equipment, fixtures and fittings list. And 3, all costs associated with the preparation of the lease documents are the responsibility of the lessees. 4, a meeting between the building stakeholders and proposed lessee to discuss building and operational arrangements. And 5, consent from the Minister of Lands. Would someone move it now that we're out? Oh, that's it. Done. Fabulous. Thank you. Okay, applications for leave of absence. We have 2.
Madam President, I have one here from Councillor Darren. Requests leave of absence for the following meetings, being the 22nd of August this year and the 12th of September this year, and one from Councillor Omaday for the 22nd of August meeting.
Are we going to allow that?
So you need a mover.
Would someone like to move it? Thank you, Councillor Ivey. Is there a seconder?
I move that we accept them.
Thank you. Councillor Mylan, seconder. All those in favour. Is there anyone against it?
Sorry, who was seconding?
Councillor Mylan.
Okay.
Or anyone against them? All those in favour. Thank you. Carried 8-0.
Can I ask a question on that?
Sure.
What's the difference between a leave of absence and an apology?
Glad you asked. Oh, sorry,
Thank you.
Madam
Yep.
President.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's a rule hidden, not hidden, but in one of the regulations or codes of practice somewhere that if an elected member misses a certain number of meetings without an approved leave of absence, they can be dismissed from the role. Yeah.
3 strikes. Thank you. Item 16, closure. There being no further business to discuss, I wish to thank those in attendance and close the meeting at 6:26. Thank you all very much. Stay safe and stay dry. Thank you.